Yeah, it's not too loud. We just can't hear you.
Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah, we'll probably just ignore everything you say for the rest of the session.
Probably.
It wouldn't be the first time I've done something like that.
Why is my name now Caden Soren 2019?
That I don't know. I was going to ask the same thing.
That's because your port rolls were 20 and a 19.
Ah.
I was like, I don't know where you put these things, so I'll put it in the most obvious place.
Well, that's all of them, certainly.
In your name.
I've been putting them in the notes tab, so.
I got a 19 and a 20 to use.
So does it mean I have a natural 20 whenever I want it?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I mean, only if you want it, though.
It's a lot of responsibility.
I'll be sure to abuse it forthwith.
So Chip said he might be a little bit late tonight.
Dang it, Chip.
Tell him he's tearing us apart, Lisa. I mean, for all we know, it's got something to do with all that glue that he's been buying lately.
You're just in a sticky situation right now, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Incoming pun disadvantage.
Worth it.
So, who wants to roll?
Yeah.
Ready? Go.
They see me rolling. They hating. Ah! All we need is a 7, guys.
Right?
All right, Airman.
Let's see. Where did we start last week? Yeah.
In the castle.
We had just met
Finishing
the giant white dragon
No
downstairs.
big deal.
And we proceeded to not only strategize, but enact our genius plan. And in doing so,
Is that the
we
one where you
learned...
split the party and try to meet everyone in the castle at the same time?
Oh, absolutely. So Ben, I hope you're ready to roll initiative for everyone in the castle starting now.
That'd be miserable.
Okay, so we spread up in hopes of better finding information about where Resmir is on this castle, like how many people she's got beside her and all that. And to learn other things like where this place is going and what sorts of foes we might face here if shit goes down, as well as possibly trying to find an escape route. And so we split up, and each of us, through a skill challenge, were doing various bits of this. Some of us caught sight of a black dragon claw, or just a black claw hand poking out of one door away. Another learned about a couple of griffins, or at least one griffin, in the Cobalt kitchens, and spoke with a number of guards. The information I didn't write down because I was not involved with that scene, so my character wouldn't know it. But you did talk with people about lots of things. Other individuals.
Maybe we should have each character kind of summarize their efforts.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll save Airman for last.
Yeah, that's
So Xavier, what'd you do?
All right, so yeah, like Ryan said, I investigated the kitchens. and I touched a sore spot with the kind of head cultist underling guy that I think, by saying Resmir's name. I've investigated a room that had the Black Claw person hanging outside of it. I couldn't get in, so the door was locked, and I could not
You
pick it.
fed a dragon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I made a deal with a dragon, and we finished that deal, so that's good. Let's see, what else did Xavier do? Did some undercover work, and I was about to go through a door, and I heard some voices behind it, and then I turned around, and Caden shot a spell at me because I looked like a cultist. And then we went into the room with Numa. That's pretty much it. I didn't do too much.
Numa, welcome back to you. Octavia, what'd you do?
Well, I didn't get in bed with anyone, which is a really big step for me. I sat in a room full of enemies and didn't fight anyone. And I've been thinking about it all week, and I'm trying to figure out what useful information I may have found. And I realized that I really didn't gather much useful information at all. I was like, what did I gather? I was like, I sat around with a whole bunch of people, and I talked, and I learned that, yep, they're here too. And we are in an ice castle, and it used to be it is a Cloud Giant's ice castle, and there's a dragon underneath. And Numa is a noob, and we make fun of noob.
He
And
kind
they
of
play
ripped on
cards.
Numa there for a little bit.
And that's the information I gathered. They didn't really know where we were going. They didn't really tell me where we were going.
They
didn't
did
know why
confirm
we
for
were
you that it
going.
was in fact Resmir.
Yeah, well,
You guys guessed as much, but
They confirmed it.
they confirmed it.
you had multiple independent confirmations.
Huh. That is important. I thought it was Xavier who got it confirmed. I
No.
didn't think. No?
Mm-mm.
Well, clearly my brain's working today, guys.
Xavier mentioned Resmir and seemed to
That
put
guy
the
kinda took
cultist
it
off his
wrong.
game. But you actually got it confirmed. If I remember correctly.
I got it confirmed. I will take it. I got good information, guys. You're welcome. That's what I did. And I didn't play cards. I just sat around the table until I decided to not sit around the table, but I'm still sitting at the table.
You've probably got about 30 more minutes of having this conversation. And if you think of some more questions that you would like to ask, now that you've realized you haven't learned a whole lot, we can continue that because you had rolled pretty well on your investigation / persuasion type rolls. So be thinking of that. And I guess that takes us back to Erevan.
Man, let's see. What
Wait.
did Erevan do?
Erevan, you had Caden doing stuff too. So what did Caden do?
So Caden was surveying while the rest of the party was continuing to bring crates from the carts down to the dragon's lair. Caden was doing the ritual for detect magic. And so he helped up with the last load of crates and kind of dropped off a couple of crates towards the middle of the horde. And in doing so, he was able to perceive 3 to 4 magical items within the dragon's horde loot. One of them that he could make out was a leather armor. The others, he could sense the aura but couldn't see beneath the piles of gold specifically. And so then, during the skill challenge, Caden was surveying as much he could of this castle, and he was able to put together that it is that these kinds of castles are artifacts of ancient legends, and that they were used when the giants were at war with the dragons. And this castle is likely reigned over by a cloud giant.
And I just realized that of the 60 D20s that Caden rolled, there's not a single 20. There are at least 4 ones.
I had to get them all out of the way.
The system.
Well, that's why he's got the important 20.
Right.
So he knows how rare they really do come along.
He's saving it because he's never going to get another one.
Right.
Exactly. Of course, I
So,
have to use it today or else it goes away.
so Caden, that's kind of what you were doing. And Numa tried to kind of go along with Octavia and kind of got made fun of and told that if he was going to find somewhere to sleep, he'd have to go somewhere else because they were all full up in the barracks room.
They didn't tell me that, though.
No, they offered to let you sleep with them. It's very kind of them.
Very nice.
How hospitable.
And then he discovered a different room. He discovered that that room had a false wall that would disappear if you touched it. And yeah, that's most of what he did. So, Aravan, what about you? What did you do last week?
So when the party split up and all went their different ways, Caden was down in the basement surveying that area. Numa, Octavia, and Xavier were all about the lower courtyard. So I was like, you know what? That sounds like an opportunity to check out this upper courtyard. So I went up to the upper courtyard, disguised as Talus the White with the Hat of Disguise, and came across a bunch of ogres doing target practice. And I was able to deceive them into thinking that I was Talus the White. And I was like, hey, so why don't you show me to my room where the people are calling the shots so that we can have a meeting hoping to find Resmir or information about where Resmir might or should be located. And so I tricked these ogres into leading me to the back tower on the upper courtyard, whereupon the doors opened up and more royally garbed ogres kind of handed me off. And I wasn't able to deceive these guys so hot, as it was a fairly low roll if I can recall. And so they kind of were like, I think maybe you should follow us. And they led me to the upstairs of this back tower, whereupon there was a very large, you could say, giant individual waiting. And, well, I wasn't able to deceive him very well either. And so he saw through my disguise. And so I basically started to come clean to this guy about how we're here to kill this Resmir chick. And Ben even pushed me to the point where I was like, okay, I guess my best option is to just try and intimidate this dude. And
I love that. He was about to try to intimidate a cloud giant.
I'll just look down on them. They hate that.
That would have been impressive.
And so it was in this moment where Aravan was basically speaking with this giant in a matter of how killing Resmir is in both of our interests, yada, 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 that he saw something in this giant's eyes to make him seem like he was interested in the subject enough that Aravan continued to reveal that we aren't with the dragon cultists. And there was a bit of a back and forth, and Aravan learned from this giant that he has struck a bargain with the cult, basically for the two of them. The giant does what he wants to do, and the cult doesn't bother him, and vice versa. And that he's bringing their treasure to the Well of Dragons because this is where the cult believes that they will be summoning Tiamat. And essentially, this guy's got a giant army he's also got up north that he's intending to stomp out the dragon cultists with. And so I was like, that sounds awesome. We should totally join you in just stomping out these cultists. And he kind of laughed at me, and he's like, yeah, right. Maybe if you and your team can prove that you can do a task, then maybe I won't interfere with your affair with Resmir. And so that's where we are now. Aravan didn't even thunder smite this guy to wake up everybody in the castle to be like, okay, shit's going down.
So, just to give an appropriate sense of scale for Aravan, how tall are you?
I want to say like 6 feet.
Good round number.
Yeah.
So, the cloud giant, who's sitting in front of you, in his sitting position, is still about 5 feet taller than you are. As the little schematic shows, cloud giant's going to be roughly 24 feet tall.
He's a big.
He's a big guy. That's a big one. So, having just finished this conversation where he basically said, okay, you go ahead and do what you want to do in the castle. I won't interfere, but neither will I help. You managed to do that, and maybe I'll take you to join my army. And he's basically dismissed you.
So is he saying that if we can take out Resmir, then we'll talk? Or is he saying that
He didn't specifically say Resmir.
right? Just last time he was talking about doing a task for him.
Well, you can ask him for some clarification if you decide to.
Okay. Mighty Blagofkus, should you wish, I can return in the entire accompaniment of my party to better understand the details of this task you have for us.
Yes. I thought I had already asked you to bring me these heroes you speak of.
Very well. I shall return briefly. With that, Caravan would like to leave this tower.
You're free to start making your way out. The ogres are no longer holding you.
All right. My plan is just to head down to the lower courtyard to the spiral staircase where I last saw my party members.
Okay.
Just wait for him there in that stairway.
So as you head, I assume you're going basically the same way you were brought over?
Right.
Okay. So as you exit, let's see. You're the only one who's up there. So I'm going, can I unshare a sheet? No. So if you guys will close out the lower courtyard.
All right.
You too, Xavier. Apparently he's not there or he's not listening.
He's rebelling.
Typical thief.
Now it just popped up on itself.
Oh, okay. See, I was trying to see if I could unshare it. But apparently not.
You have to exit.
Yeah, go ahead and close it out because I read a tip that said basically I can share things specifically by like dragging them onto y'all's pictures. So, like, Octavia, did you get something earlier about dragons?
Yeah, I got a gold dragon.
Okay.
Okay. Did anybody else get a gold dragon? Good. So that worked.
Oh, why are we looking at giants? Oh shit.
The better question is, why are you still looking for lower courtyard?
Because that's where my last player thing was.
Yeah, well, you know what? You need to close it.
He's dead
why?
now.
Because the lower courtyard just got ejected from the Sky Castle.
Oh, great.
So,
new character?
yep.
All
Everybody's
right.
building new characters.
Sweet.
Congratulations. So, Erevan, as you leave that upper tower, you're able to see more of the courtyard to your north. Including the fact that there's a door leading to some other enclosed chamber up there that you had not noticed before. But as you come back around,
Size door?
it is a very large door.
Okay.
But as you come around and head back the way you came, you see that the ogres are still over there practicing throwing their spears. And when you get back around to them, one of them looks over at you, and says, "Oi, what's this then? What you doing there? Who are you?"
I have orders from Blagothkus to retrieve those below. Continue about your target practice.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. And he kind of sheepishly turns back around and goes back to throwing javelins and spears at targets.
And as soon as anyone's out of eyesight, I would like to retake on the appearance of Talus the White.
Okay. So you get down to the lower level. And you exit out the spiral staircase. And at this point, you don't really know where everybody else is.
Right.
So,
My game plan is just stick out by these stairs till they return.
oh, so you're just going to hang out here?
Yep.
For an undetermined amount of time?
Even start making my way down below towards the cavern kind of corridors on the vault level, like where we were making these plans, since we never really designated a meeting spot.
Okay. Well, let's see. Octavia was here. Oh, God.
She's so
I'm so
small.
small.
So tiny.
Great scale for a giant castle.
It is, but it's not quite the right scale.
I know.
Every one of
Just
these
a wee
squares
little
is
thing.
500 feet.
Oh, God. That's a big castle.
There we go.
Here I am.
So there you are. And then I believe Caden, Numa, and Xavier are all in this room.
Correct.
So, Erevan is hanging out in the courtyard by himself. Like, hi guys. I'm cultist.
I'm cultist. Woo.
So he's over there by the stairs. Okay, so
Nice. Flawless.
he's everyone apparently is just like hanging out there waiting.
Loitering.
So I want to say, Octavia, you've now got a chance to ask any more questions you want to ask. And as soon as you get done asking those questions, that's when you decide to leave.
I mean, I just can't think these guys really weren't useful with many questions. So I think I'm good with questions. I can't think of any. So I'm good to leave.
All right. So you are free to head out wherever you feel like you need to go next. I want to make snide comments about all the questions you didn't ask.
I'm bad with questions, okay? I'm bad with questions. I should have gotten an itinerary or something. What do I have to cultist? So I'm going to step out here. Do I see any more movement other than what I've noticed before? There's still like ogres on top of this thingy up here.
Yep. You can only see one ogre up there now. But you haven't noticed any change in patrolling or any more people running about. There's a new cart parked over there.
Ooh.
It was not there the last time you came in.
That's weird. Because like these doors are closed, aren't they?
No, the main gate hasn't.
Okay. That's not so weird.
The main gate's open, and the drawbridge is down.
Oh, okay. Are there boxes on that wagon?
None at the moment.
No. Okay. Oh crap. I don't see anyone who may have been around that wagon or anything. Is there anyone at all in here?
The courtyard is actually quite empty for this
Yeah.
massive echoing, or not echoing, but massive field.
Oh, heck.
It's quite lonely where you are. You feel very small and out of place.
I feel very small and out of place. That's an accurate description. And these doors are still like really big and massive and untouched.
Oh yeah, all the doors are very, very large.
I'm gonna go to those doors, and I'm gonna try and open it and see what's inside.
Okay, so as you get to those doors, you pick up a very noticeable odor.
Oh, geez.
It says, this place stinks of droppings and rotted flesh.
Can I do a perception check to see if I hear anything on the other side of the door before I open it?
You do hear some kind of like heavy footfalls and a certain amount of like
Oh, geez. I don't know if I want to open that. That's creepy. Are there any windows or anything in these doors?
Nope.
If
Just
I walk
two
around,
massive doors.
are there
20
any
feet
windows on
tall
these doors?
and 20 feet wide.
These doors, same thing.
Yep, same thing over there.
That sounds freaky. I'll poke my head in. I'll just crack it
Oh, jeez.
very, very quietly and slowly.
You're going to try to
Make
crack
me a
a
stealth
20-foot
check.
door?
What?
Make me a stealth check.
Stealth check.
I won't impose disadvantage because you're trying to open something quietly. So
Oh, well, my other roll was a 19.
you need to click advantage to counteract your disadvantage.
Do it
I had a
again.
19, I swear.
Actually, it was an 18 on here, but there's no saying which was which.
14.
Okay. So the 14, you're able to kind of grunt a little and push the door. It opens out, so you're able to. You start to push on it a little bit, and you're like, no. You start to pull on it,
Oh, wait.
and it is quite heavy, and you have a hard time adjusting. It's a little bit bright outside, and you look in, it's fairly dark inside. So it takes just a second for your eyes to adjust. I assume you are wearing your night vision goggles.
Always. Sure.
So
Stare at the sun.
what you see, you open the door, looks like a stables. And inside, the odor is much more pronounced than it was.
Oh, goodness. We're going to ruin my ham.
And you also catch sight of something in the stall closest to the door. This one
It has
right there.
antlers and slamming the door.
It does not have antlers.
Okay, that's good. Off to a good start.
However, let me find a good description of it. It is a scaly, leathery, winged beast. And you're having a hard time saying for sure, but you think the tail has like something very odd about it. It's like it's got like an almost bulbous end on the tail. And as your eyes adjust and as it kind of turns its head to the door and sees that it's open,
Uh-oh.
it kind of cranes its neck, and it's got a fairly long neck. Cranes its neck over the edge of the stall it's in and sniffs and goes, and it starts to kind of like walk out of its stall towards the door. As it comes around, you get a better look at it. And it looks like this.
Oh, God, I'm closing the door. Closing the door, real quick.
Okay.
Is there a lock on the door? Can I lock the door?
There doesn't seem to be a lock on the door.
I am like closing that door and I am running. That way.
Okay.
I'm making sure the door is closed. Like I'll stand there for like a brief second, and then I'm running. I don't think that thing wants to talk. There's no information for me.
So.
And I'm actually gonna get like around to this corner and like hug up against the wall.
Okay,
Cool.
you take off running.
Yeah. And I'll poke my head back around the corner and see if it, because you said they open out, so I'm sure it really wouldn't be hard for that thing to open the door if it tried. So.
And the doors don't seem to budge. They don't move. They don't open.
Oh God, I could have made friends. Maybe it was a nice one.
Well, you never know if you run away.
That freaked me out. Okay, that was like a big old thing on the other side. Somebody wanted to eat me. I have a ham. I know it can smell it.
So.
Jeez, that was fun. That is terrifying. Did I see more than one of those in there?
That one was more than enough to take your attention.
I would believe so. That is more than reasonable.
So, that's
Okay.
where you are.
That's where I am.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
I'll wait here a minute and catch my breath.
Okay. Then we'll go to, I guess, the C team.
Hey.
So, Numa, Caden, Xavier, whenever Numa arrives, you're all in the room. Again, you've seen that it's quite comfortably furnished. The bed is easily big enough to sleep 3. It has a vanishing wall of all things. There are like some window holes that you can kind of see out of there and there.
So Xavier will drop his disguise. And
Oh yeah, Caden, you had used 1 sleep spell. It was not quite enough to put Caden or to put Xavier to sleep.
I waved my finger at you like no, 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 and then I made you go into the room without saying a word.
Okay.
So I dropped my disguise, and I'll quietly close the door, talk to Caden, and say, I believe I found Resmia. She's just down the hallway there, across from the meat locker.
Was she alone?
I could not see far enough into the room to see if there was anybody else with her. But if the other castle is any indication, she'll have the Red Wizard with her.
Hmm. Do you think we should strike now or wait for the rest of our party?
We probably should have everyone here in case things go south. That way everyone knows that we shouldn't stay.
True.
So I can try to go find Erevan and Artavia really quickly and bring them back here.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright. I'll lay out a pattern for like a knock. It'll just be like, 3 rapid knocks and then 2 long knocks. And say, open the door only for that knock pattern. And Xavier will walk out. And since he came in the southern door, he's going to head out the west door into the courtyard.
Okay.
Just to, keep up appearances. So, hey.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, so you successfully stab Numa, and he dies.
There's a convenient place to dump the body. I take his shoes first.
Leave the spider shoes alone.
Just stick them to the underside of the thing.
Yeah, just hang me hang me somewhere where people will remember me.
I'm gonna find an armoire and hang you up like a bat.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I walk out into the courtyard. And then I start heading back because if I remember correctly, Ervin went up the stairs when we left him. So I'm going to start heading my way back towards the spiral staircase.
I'm not entirely sure you know that he went up the stairs.
Well, he didn't come out into the courtyard when I left.
True.
So that was the last place that I knew he was. So.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
So, As you come out, you see Octavia finishing a run, or running in that general direction. And you see no evidence of anyone chasing her. You don't know what's happening. You just see her running.
It's a very wonderful run, though. I mean, I'm in good shape.
Oh yeah, she meant it.
Is this like I'm seeing tentacle monsters kind of run?
This is definitely a she meant to be running. This was not like a light jog.
All right. Well, I will walk with a purpose, slightly faster than normal to try to catch up to her. I'm not going to yell out or anything.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Certainly. Perception. 21.
All right. So, as you speed walk past this door, this archway, you see inside that room a giant table, like 9 feet tall,
Oh, geez.
stone table with 3 chairs, obviously sized for giants, also carved from stone.
Ah.
And you see 2 stone giants inside, one standing, kind of staring at the table, one sitting next to it.
Oh, geez.
But you see that as you're like speed walking past. You don't really have a time.
Yeah.
Unless you just like stop, you don't have time to
Okay.
see much beyond that.
This seems like it's kind of a guard station. So, yeah, mental note that for later, and I'll try to catch up to Octavia.
All right. So Octavia has. You don't realize this, of course, until you get around the corner, but she's like pressed up against this wall, kind of staring back at those doors. And Octavia, you make me a perception check.
Oh, yeah. Very perceptive.
Yeah. She's like, her focus is entirely on those doors. And when you step around the corner, she kind of jumps.
Easy, blonde.
Does he look like him right now, or does he look like a cultist?
I don't have my disguise.
He looks like him for now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna like grab him and like throw him up against the wall with me. like.
And I'll do
Quiet.
a flourish spin, and I'll grab you by the elbow and start walking you away.
Just make sure those doors don't open behind us. You'll never believe what's in there.
I'll whisper in your ear, remember, you are a cultist right now. You're acting way too suspicious.
I will have like a panicked look in my eyes as I'm like imagining him like grabbing my elbow like a kid, you know, being led away, but I'm still looking behind me at those doors to make sure they don't open.
All right.
I'm trying to look less suspicious, but I'm like not in any mood to like take my eyes off of them quite yet. Until they're like out of sight, out of mind. So if we get to like about right here, I could probably look away and be okay.
So we killed it that long.
So once I get her focused off the door, I'll let go of her, and I'll whisper, I believe I found Resmir. We need to find Erevan.
I believe I found a mini dragon.
Mini dragon?
And mini dragons, yes. They're smaller versions of a big dragon. Miniature version dragon.
I don't think anyone said anything about dragons. Did you see the tails?
I haven't heard any tales about them, no.
No. Did you see if they had multiple tails.
Multiple tails. They it had a long neck, and there was something very weird about its tail. It seemed odd, and I forgot the precise word that's coming to my head to describe
Bulbous.
it. Bulbous.
Bulbous.
That's the word.
Bulbous.
Bulbous.
And you should still have that picture. You can use it as your basis for description.
I exited. I didn't mean to.
This is why we can't have nice
Okay,
things.
can I do some kind of check to see if it's a wyvern? If a bulbous
Based on
tail
that
would-
description, I'm going to say not really.
Okay.
Would I know what it was from reading picture books? There. It had a very weird neck with kind of flared out a little bit. Like, have you ever seen a snake, king cobra type snake, but probably a different name in this century?
Yeah.
Octavia's speaking very strangely. You're worried that something is like affecting her mind at this point.
Can't cobra
You
was
guys
though.
should be used to it by now.
Have you had any of the ham yet?
The neck. I'm gonna like put my hands out like by my neck and try and like show him.
That gesture would probably be much more effective if you had a camera.
Ah,
You're flaring out
Lots
your hands.
like, you know, a little like half cups next to my neck. You know, imagine your hands in little cups and put them
Yeah.
next to your neck.
Hmm.
They had teeth and eyeballs.
Most creatures
Definitely
do.
eyeballs. Yes.
So she's doing this next to her neck.
Yes. Yes.
Hands are in
That's what
little
I'm
cups.
That's what its neck looked like. That's exactly what I was doing. See, I don't need a camera. I'm great at describing things.
Okay.
Full tail and
I guess.
So
Well,
you're envisioning a thing that has like, little like weird neck flaps
Yeah.
that, like if it rains would probably catch water.
no, not that way. It's like more horizontal. Horizontal neck flaps.
That's about as horizontal as it gets.
I mean,
You mean
vertical.
like one of those
Vertical.
spitting lizards.
Yes. Yes. In my town, we called them king cobras. What do I know? I guess, you really do get different names for things when you go different places. It's weird. But, they're there, and it didn't seem like it was really, like, going to attack me, but it really freaked me out, because that was the last thing I expected to see was a little mini dragon.
If it's like anything else in this castle, it's probably meant to be a god.
I don't know. It didn't open the door. And it could have opened the door. If it wants to open those doors, it can open the doors.
Again, we're cultists, remember? If it is a dragon, they worship the dragon, which means that they would have taken care of it, so that way it wouldn't run loose. You'll be fine.
It didn't follow us, so yes, we'll be fine.
Yes.
Now, where are we going?
Well, I was gonna find Aravan. The last time I saw him, we were leaving the spiral staircase.
Yeah, I think I was one of the first to leave, so I don't know where anyone went. I haven't seen it. This area has been completely empty. Completely empty. There's been not a trace of people and back and forth in at least a minute.
And, once we get to, like, here, assuming we're talking and walking, Octavia, Numa, and Caden are through these double doors here. There's 2 doors, one on each side. You walk past them and then take a left. And then you'll see a door straight ahead, and there'll be a door on the right. They are
That
inside
is
that
a
room.
lot of directions.
Through the double doors, walk past the first set of doors, take a left.
Okay, I can do that.
and I will show her the knocking pattern.
All right.
3 rapid, 2 slows, and say, I'm gonna go find Erevan, and I'll be right back.
And I will nod, and I will go through these doors.
All right. So, Xavier, you go looking for Erevan. Octavia,
Yes.
where are you going?
I am going through the double doors. I am passing the first set of doors. I am going left, and I'm going to go to the first door I see, and I'm going to do the knock you just told me. 3 rapid, 2 slow.
No response.
I'm gonna do it differently. I'm going to do
You're going to do.
3 rapid, 2 slow, or 3 slow, 2 rapid. And I think I may have gotten it backwards.
Still no response.
Too many directions.
Numa, make me a perception.
Are
Numa and
y'all
Caden both.
waiting on me to? Are y'all what's going on?
We're actively engaged at this point.
We're RPing.
You're waiting me to. Are you waiting for me to acknowledge a knock on the door?
No.
No, actually, but we do need you to make a perception check.
You didn't say anything about that door.
Leave it to Octavia.
Yep. You and Caden are quietly talking. You don't hear anything.
I'm gonna press my ear up against this door and listen.
You have good perception.
You don't hear anything.
I'm gonna open the door.
And as you push this big door open, you step out and you're back in the big, huge courtyard.
I'm so confused. I'm gonna step out and look on either side like I'm very... You said they were through the door?
Yep.
Do these doors over here look like they've been moved at all?
No, they don't.
They're wide open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, oh my god, I would freak out. I'm gonna come back through this door and close it behind me.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my way back to the real doors.
You walk past another door.
You didn't say anything about that door. You told me
You
to
weren't
pass
there.
the door
I know.
to go left.
I did
So
tell
you go
about
back
that
to these
door.
double doors and you're...
And I'm going to retrace my steps once again.
Okay.
Past the first set of doors. I'm going to kind of whisper to myself now. Past the first set of doors and go left. And I just look left and I see that door. And now, looking down the hallway, I see that door. And I will approach that door.
Okay.
Just gonna hit up every door in this castle.
That would be really entertaining.
Oh, yes.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Then I'm going to do 3 rapid knocks and 2 slow knocks.
Now, Cade, Numa, you hear 3 rapid knocks and 2 slow knocks.
I repeat the knock on the door.
And Caden will look at Numa. Is that the pattern Xavier said, or was it 3 short and 2 long?
I don't know that I remember that conversation.
After I hear a knock back, I would like to do what I did on the other door and do 3 short and 2 fast.
Okay.
I love Octavia so much. Oh my god.
Is the door locked? I mean,
That must be Xavier. It was 3 short and 2 rapid.
Okay, I'll crack the door open
I'm never doing code with you guys again.
to see. It doesn't sound
And 2
like
of these
a
guys are
giant
Harpers.
I know. I'm not even drunk, and I know what the code is.
So you open the door and you see Octavia standing there like sheepishly getting ready to knock again.
Greetings.
They said you're out the other door. But
What
there
other
was no
door?
response. Never mind. I'm just gonna walk in.
Yep, you walk in and you see a very, very luxuriously appointed apartment. Again, a
Show her
bed
the
that looks
cool wall.
oh so comfortable after your many travels, sleeping in the mud and in the dirt. And Numa walks over and shows you a disappearing wall.
Oh.
That's so fascinating.
That is new.
And when you get over there, when he was like showing you the disappearing wall, you also notice that the disappearing wall, like when you go out in the balcony, it's just a massive drop off the side of this castle.
This is a great place to dispose of bodies.
What?
I mean, think about it.
And at about this time, everyone make me a perception check.
Oh, jeez.
Someone's finally noticing this wall disappear about 30 times.
Man, look at all them rolls.
All right, so everybody who rolled a 15 or better. So not
but Aravan.
Aravan.
Nope.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You hear kind of a hollow like thum.
Oh no, it's those doors. Guys, the doors with the mini dragons have opened. We're closed. It sounded more like closing.
From
But
where I'm
one-
at, can I see the main gate?
Actually, well,
sound.
it depends on where you were going.
I was heading towards the stairs.
So we'll swap over to your perspective.
Okay.
You get to the stairs, and at the level where you are, Aravan is not there.
Okay.
Are you staying there? You going up? You going down?
Can I listen for footsteps on the stairs?
Sure.
I'd like to do that.
Okay.
23.
Aravan, are you like pacing? Or are you just standing still? What are you doing?
I think I'd be going back and forth between the lower courtyard and the dragon layer level.
Okay.
Like,
So
back and forth to make
you
sure,
hear some like footsteps crunching on the stairs, and they sound like they're getting closer. Actually, no, they sound like they're getting further away.
Okay. And they're probably heavy footfalls, knowing Aravan.
They are
All right.
quite heavy.
Yeah. I'm gonna
just big bone.
I'm gonna step into the stairway, dart kind of around the corner like so. Actually, this way, so I'm kind of out of sight. I'm gonna throw up and activate the cloak real quick and just kind of stealthily head down the stairs
Okay.
with my dagger at the ready, just in case. Kind
And it's as you get
hidden.
towards the bottom of the stairs that you hear the thum.
Oh jeez.
Terrifying sound.
Kind of pick up my pace a little bit.
Sure.
Try to catch up to
So,
whatever footsteps.
Once you get down there, Aravan, I assume you're not like heading too far away from the stairs.
No, like just far enough to get a good look down the hallway for anyone.
Wow.
I give
Yeah,
you that
They went
because
to random
the dishwasher's
tunnel
running, so I put it on paper
and
plates.
back up.
I know, but this is a lot.
Eat what you want.
Hey, man. Thank you.
She's trying to feed you well, Chip.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not on mute?
Nope.
Just make us all jealous with your meal.
Sorry.
Becky's just trying to take care of you.
Did Numa order
tell
room
ya.
service? Is that what just happened?
I did. You know what that wall is? It's got a dumbwaiter behind it as well.
So, Aravan is, I'm going to say, right about there when you get to the bottom of the steps and you see him and you recognize that it's Aravan.
Okay. I recognize that it's Lady Talus, who's Erevan.
That is correct. You do recognize that as Lady Talus.
Um,
And you don't know that he had turned into
No.
that he
So-
had disguised himself.
so I'm going to stealthily sheath my dagger, pull off the hood, and say, Lady Talus, I didn't expect you to be here.
Xavier, was it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Have we not learned our lesson on this?
Apparently not.
We've got issues larger than Resmir to deal with. Seems the host of this castle has business with us that we need to tend to before we see to any other matters within the walls of this fortress. Where are the others?
I know where 3 of them are. I'm still looking for Erevan.
Well, let's go get them.
Right away. Follow me.
Following.
She doesn't sound like her. I would like to insight.
How dare you?
Go
This
right
is what
ahead.
a woman's voice sounds like.
12.
I'm going to actually make a perception check,
Okay.
not an insight check.
18.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Just
positive
whack.
this is not her voice.
What?
It sounds a lot like someone, probably a male, trying to imitate a female's voice and not doing it very well.
Got a lot on my mind right now.
I kind of shake my head like, I should have seen it sooner. I kind of tap my nose. Follow me, Erevan.
I already said I was.
Just for future. We shouldn't play these games with each other when we're disguised.
Xavier, now is not the time for your games.
You're the one who's playing games. Anyway, I'll take you to the room with the others. And head up the stairs. And with Lady Talus behind me, I'll walk out with a chip on my shoulder, chest out a little bit, walking with a purpose.
All right.
Lady Talus, did you hear that noise earlier?
No, I was a little preoccupied. Right up until you returned.
I wonder if this castle's going to start moving soon.
So, as you guys are heading back out into the lower courtyard, you see that door open,
Oh, jeez.
and out steps one of the guys from inside the barracks. He is wearing just some leather armor, carrying a scimitar, and at first he doesn't seem to be looking in your direction. What are you guys going to do?
Just
And also,
follow
I'm going to say you're probably about there.
Alright.
So he's not really paying attention to us at the moment?
You don't think he is.
Alright.
Over in his direction, I'd like to just raise up the wide open 5-fingered spread and in his direction, like just to see if he looks our way, he sees the wide high five.
Okay. You don't notice any response.
Okay.
But he is. At first, he's kind of like he's opened the door. You see him step out, and he's talking to someone back inside the room. And then he turns and starts moving in that direction. So you're just holding out this widespread 5 fingers.
Yeah, like a quick, kind of like you would a salute. You kind of throw it up for that brief moment and then continue following Xavier on our way.
Okay. And as you two make your way through those doors, you notice. Actually, make me a perception check.
All of the things. 19.
Okay, Xavier, Ervan, you're not close enough to him to really get a read on him. Xavier, you notice something that seems a little off. Make me an insight check.
Certainly. $23.
So, just the way he reacted, you're pretty sure he's maybe seen Talus before, and is like somehow you know that he's gotten the sense that that's not right. Like something in that interaction struck him as very odd.
Yeah, not something that the Lady of White would actually do to a common person. I'll say, right this way, my lady. And I'll acknowledging that he kind of gave me a look, I will escort Aravan through the double doors.
Okay.
I will take you to your chambers, just in case he overhears.
All right. So you two move through, and you lose sight of him.
Yep. As soon as we get past what I believe is Resmir's store, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit and start walking faster.
Okay.
And then I'll do my knocks on the door once we get there. Which is...
And what is your knock pattern going to be?
3 fast knocks, 2 slows.
Okay, guys, you hear 3 fast knocks and 2 slows on the door. What do you do?
Dessert's here.
I'm gonna leave it to them because I wasn't part of this shenanigans. I got lost. I'm sitting here by the invisible wall that may not have appeared.
Caden will go and open the door.
The wall has come back by this point.
Stand by the wall.
Timed it. It seems like it's about a minute between the time you touch it and the time it comes back.
Awesome.
And also, you've even experimented. You can touch it from either side and it will disappear.
Ooh, this is so cool.
To me, a device. Yeah, so I walk in, we get Aravan in, and then I'll close the door behind us.
And they see you escorting Talus the White into this room.
I asked, are we going to kill her now?
Oh, yeah.
Those plans are being put on hold for the time being.
I thought you weren't coming, which is why we were here.
It's Aravan.
The host of this cast, Lagothkis, has summoned us. He's building an army of giants to confront these dragon cultists. He's prepared a task for us. If he deems us worthy, we might fight by his side, and he might overlook any assault on the residents of his fortress, such as Resmir. And he
How do we
could be
show our
a
support?
crucial ally going forward. He has asked for me to return with the entire party.
And I think that we are... our disguises are being worn thin I think they're starting to catch on.
I haven't had a discount.
Perhaps that's your problem. Everybody's going to give it another tug on the hat of disguise, making himself look like Landragos and Cyanrath, and pull out that great sword to go with it.
Because when we were walking through the courtyard and that cultist came out, he seemed to question your actions as Lady Talus.
Perhaps they know something that we don't.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
think they do a lot that we don't. Just to be honest.
so we gotta go meet this head giant.
Lagofis.
What kind of task
Lagofis.
did you say we have to do? Is it going to be long?
I have no idea, but I'd rather not piss him off.
Oh, you're right.
The rest of you able to ascertain anything?
Have you seen this wall? And I'm going to touch it.
Strange, but perhaps a means of escape.
Well, it drops off to nothingness, so I mean it's not a very good escape, but you know.
How many people did you tell this giant were in your party?
I spoke truth to him.
And we should appear truthful.
And with haste, I fear the longer that we hear, the quicker that things slip out of our grasps.
That's to answer the rest of your question, other than what we found, other than the wall. It is, yes, a fact that Resmir is here, and there are miniature dragons being held in stables.
Very well, then.
Yes, the room, Erevan, that we walked past on the left, I believe is Resmir's quarters.
One just beyond the double doors.
Yes.
Should keep quiet while going past that door.
The few times that we tried to interact with her, she doesn't like the door being opened for anyone. She wouldn't even let out more than a hand to hand a key to the quartermaster.
Any idea why?
I got the ham.
I don't know why, but I assume that she's impatient and doesn't like to be bothered, so she's planning something. I just don't want to be caught off guard.
Nevertheless, Blagopicus has been informed of our purpose for being here. I got him to speak with him under the guise of Talus the White, and he has agreed to hear me out in my entirety, rather than simply making me a fine red mist. And so he knows that we're here for Resmir, and should we succeed on this task of his, then he said that he himself, as well as the giants he has guarding this fortress, will not intervene.
Well, if we do this task, maybe we can get some help from some of his giants with that dragon.
Certainly hope so.
Alright, well, we should do this task then.
Can I ask you all to, at the very least, attempt to put on the air of a champion? Walk pridefully with your steps. He seems very keen on the... He seems very specific as far to what types of individuals he wishes to join his army. He believes that many giants themselves have grown soft in the recent years.
I'm going to nod like I completely understand. But I clearly don't.
It it makes a lot of sense. Giants respect strength. So we need to show strength.
I'm very strong. I can eat an entire ham.
Yes,
Perhaps-
eating an entire ham. Maybe you should eat that ham before we go, so you're not delusional when we're talking to this giant king.
But I will sneak a bite of the ham.
All right, I'm going to be right back, but I'm going to follow the group up to wherever we're on.
All right.
Alright, so with that, I will lead the party upstairs.
Not so fast. Dun, dun, dun.
Towards the tower that I last
Dragons
saw
are
from
out.
Noctis.
All right. Are you sneaking? Are you disguised? Are you just...
I'm walking proudly.
I'm disguised. And I think Xavier is still disguised.
No, Xavier's your savior.
And since he was the one talking about disguises, I just thought if he has the spell, we can wait the 10 minutes for him to ritual it up. The altar self. Or if it was just a disguise kit he used.
I believe it was a spell he used.
Okay.
So, everyone make me perception checks.
Still enjoying room service.
So jealous.
I just see all these perception rules. What's going on?
You should make a perception check.
22.
Xavier, you feel just the slightest tremor.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So we heard a kind of a clunking noise, booming noise, and I feel a tremor.
I don't think there was any clunking noise, but you did hear kind of
A thud.
a booming, yeah, kind of a thud. And it's very, very slight. You're not entirely sure you felt it, but
Enough to give a half-second pause.
yeah.
All right. Let's make this quick.
So are you disguised?
Mm-mm.
Are you going to be disguised, or are you just going?
I'm just going.
Okay.
Aravan talked about speaking truths, so I will walk out with truths, and if somebody spots me, I'll stab them.
Okay.
Or calls me out, I should say.
So you guys are able to make your way up to the upper courtyard. You don't notice any guards or people moving about the lower courtyard as you're making your way over. Again, it seems to be almost unusually, or you can't say if it's unusual or not, but it does seem oddly quiet. There's just not a lot of movement about the castle, at least on that main floor. And each of you arrives upstairs. And there is a contingent of ogres that are scattered about. Specifically,
So I need to open a different map.
I'm going to share it with you in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Hey!
Wasn't sure if I was in the wrong spot.
for just a couple.
Oh, God.
Just a few whole big deal.
So there are a few ogres, and Aravan. As much as you can tell them apart, you recognize that this guy is the one who took you over to the tower, and he turns around and looks at you guys coming up the steps and says, "Oi, what's this then? Who are you? What you doing?"
Responding first, Hail Blagofkus. And
He kind of instinctively goes, "Hail Blagothkus."
kind of bowing my head down, and I'm bringing him his guests that he requested. We have business with Blagofkus.
But who? Oh,
Remember the white lady who walked through here before?
yeah. I know. I know she okay.
We're here for her.
Oh, well, I take you. You follow me.
We follow you.
And he starts leading you over that direction and points you towards that door.
Ooh, fast travel.
I believe I can fly.
Pushing the door open, continuing our way forward.
Oh jeez. I'm gonna stand extra tall and extra proud, just like I've been instructed.
All
Giving
right.
it my best. Chest out. Shoulders
And
back look.
when you walk inside, the guy in the plume, or the ogres in the plumed helmets, look at you and basically kind of go, what do you want? Who you?
Hail Blagofkus.
Hail Blagothkus. Who you?
My name is Aravan Solvakos, and I have business with Blagofkus. He asked me to retrieve my party, and here we are.
You not same as man who talk to Blagothkus. Who you?
I'm a man of many faces, and I'd like to tug on the cap one more time and look like Talus the White again, right in front of his face.
You know how well that worked for me the last time.
And you get a similar reaction as to what Xavier got doing that in front of the lizard guys. They kind of step back a little bit and they each grab weapons.
So I'm going to say with some authority, you don't want to leave Blagothkus waiting. He's expecting us. Do you want to pay for that?
And you can tell that, like, the guy in front, this one, kind of thinks about that for a second and kind of decides, I'm going to pass this up the chain. And he says, you come with me. And he starts leading you upstairs. But he does not put his weapon away, and the other three follow pretty closely behind.
Kind of lift my chin up a little bit. Start walking.
So you guys start going upstairs, and what you see, and Aravan, you've seen this before at this point, is that the walls are all sculpted, and they have icy murals on them. And as you get to the top of the stairs at the first landing, which is about 35 feet up from the ground floor, you see one particularly large mural depicting what has to be a cloud giant riding a giant bird. As you look around the rest of the chamber, you see that there's an enormous bed with a headboard of ice that's been sculpted to resemble clouds, and it dominates the room. Bear furs are heaped upon the bed, and 2 large wooden chests rest at the bed's feet. And now, instead of sitting on the floor, having ogres comb his hair out, you see Blagothkus standing there in the middle of his tower, just kind of looking down at you. And this is what, not with the weapon raised, but this is what he looks like.
Very tall.
24 feet
24 feet tall.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez. And what about as big as that tall little
One of
rock
his
right
arms is 10 feet long.
I have brought
That
you
rock
my
that goes
champions, Lagothkus.
Basically, you guys would come up to his knees. And
I try and stand a little bit taller.
Yeah, I stifle a little bit of fear.
and as he looks you over, he doesn't respond immediately, but you get the impression that he's scrutinizing each and every one of you.
Didn't brush my hair.
Damn it, Octavia, that's what's going to cost us everything. Just a little soap, that's all we ask.
My palms are a little bit sweaty.
So, how would you guys say you're standing? Like, who's in front? Is anybody hiding in the back?
Aravan's
An arrangement.
in the front.
Okay, and are you looking like Aravan at this point, or are you still looking like Talus?
Upon stepping into the room, I'll switch back to Aravan.
Okay.
And then I'll probably be behind him. Okay, I'll be behind Numa then.
I'm always behind Aravan's shield.
Okay. And so I guess that means Xavier, Caden, you two are in the back?
Yeah.
All right. So, as he looks each of you up and down, he kind of inspects Aravan in his not disguised form. And he looks at you and he says, "You look like you may have some idea of how to use that sword. Perhaps your fighting will be worthy." Next, you said Numa, you're standing behind him.
That's right.
Looks at you. He says, "What exactly are your talents or abilities?" "Someone who would enter battle with no armor and a miniature sword does not seem like a champion to me."
True strength comes from the inside, not the outside.
Do you think your insides are strong enough for the challenge ahead of you when your outsides are so puny?
Only destiny will tell me that.
He passes on from you, and he looks at Octavia. There seems to be more to you than might be apparent at first glance.
I'm proud of myself.
That's not
Okay.
necessarily a good thing.
I smell the touch of the gods about you. Who do you serve?
I am a cleric of Bahamut.
So, the Platinum One does involve himself.
Very much so.
Interesting.
Like, look at him, but I'm going to try and not make eye contact with him. I feel like that might be offensive. So I'm like, stare right up at him.
So you're standing tall but looking down.
No, like I'm standing looking at him, but like I'm looking more like at his chest instead of his eyeballs. Like my eyes are up here, Octavia, but I don't want to look him in the eye because it's scary.
Okay.
Is it scary?
After it's apparent you're not going to say anything else.
No, he's satisfied. He says there's more than meets the eye. I'm good with that. I'm gonna take it and run with it.
But before he moves on, he says, "What has the Platinum One asked of you, little one? Will his pet dragons contest with his perpetual enemy?"
That is a good question right there. It is. He's asked me to do good upon the world, and that is what I plan on doing here.
Well, if the only help he sends against the devil is one small human, mayhaps he cares not what happens to this world.
I should have just ran with what he said originally. Still not making eye contact.
Next, he looks at Xavier. You have the air of one who hides in the shadows. You will not be able to fight this war from your shadows. Do you have the strength to stand and fight?
I have more than enough strength to stand and fight. For my foe is also your foe. I'm here to slay dragons, and that is my purpose.
Well, if you pass your test, you may have many opportunities to slay dragons. And finally, he looks at Caden, kind of loitering in the back of the room. And he says, I sense the power in you. You have the magics running through your veins. And I can feel the hate that fuels them. Is your hate for the dragons?
Or is your purpose something else?
The dragons are my foe for now. I have hate enough for them.
Perhaps you have the wisdom to fight alongside the giants. For we know it is the rage with which you face your enemies that gives you the strength to overcome them. It is that rage that my companions, my kin, have lost so long ago. Perhaps, if the dragon bitch is able to bring her kind out in force, then my kin will stand up, renew our ancient hatreds, and take our place back in this world. If you would see us work together, here is the task I lay before you. You who claim to be champions, who claim to have the strength and the will to fight much more powerful enemies. I have taken this castle, and we are now on our way. Our final destination be decided by you. If you can defeat those servants of Tiamat who have taken up passage upon my home, then I will take you to the north with me. Far to the north, where I gather my kin. If, however, those servants of Tiamat are able to overthrow you, well, then I will continue with my plans. I will deliver them and their treasures to the Well of Dragons. I will have my armies ready to pounce upon them once they have attempted to free that dragon demon from the pits of hell.
I like it.
We accept this task of yours. As champions, we stand before you and we shall complete it. We will fell every one of these servants of Tiamat that resides within your castle's walls. The only question for you is whether the white dragon below herself is a servant of Tiamat.
Of course. Do you think that I would suffer such a creature. If not as part of my agreement, the white dragon, it roosts above the treasures that have been collected. I'm sure it thinks it does a great service.
So, it seems like a very worthy task of champions. Yes, indeed.
Indeed. If you of the small races can carry it out, then you will certainly have made yourselves worthy. Show me your strength. Show me your resolve.
What is the time frame in order for us to complete this trial?
I set no limit on your time, except that if you take too long, I suspect you may be discovered by those who truly serve the cult. It will be many 10 days before we reach the Well of Dragons. I do not think you can afford to take so long.
What happens if we do not reach the Well of Dragons when you had appointed a time?
Everyone will be dead.
I suspect that the servant of the Platinum One is correct. I think you will succeed or fail in this task much sooner than the travels of this castle to the Well of Dragons.
I guess what I was saying is if we are successful before we get to the Well of Dragons, are we not moving north at that time?
I am in control of the movements of this castle. It goes where I decide. There will be no complications if I decide to change course.
And one more question. I couldn't help but notice there was a stall full of miniature dragon creatures. Are they yours?
No. I have no use for those wyverns. They have used them as mounts.
Interesting. Could be very useful.
Have you any armory here in this castle? Any potions, spell scrolls, weapons, arms?
Such is the champions of the little races.
Simply wish to know which doors to prevent your cultist infestation from spreading into.
when the gore starts flowing about the walls of your fortress.
It is simple. If they are of a kind with you, they are cultists. Do not harm the ogres who serve me, or the stone giants who are my guests. The rest, well, that is your task. There is, however, one small thing.
Oh.
I would also have you leave my griffon out of these. He is my pet. And if you wish to eat without cooking it yourselves, you may wish to leave the kobolds alone. They are irksome, but at least they do what they're told.
Understood? And everybody's going to turn around and start just walking out of there.
I hope that you prove as mighty as you think yourselves. And I hope that you have counted all your foes.
With that, I turn and leave.
I'm gonna follow. Definitely following. Don't be stuck in this room.
Does anyone here speak giant?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No. Damn it, Chisco.
That's just common but louder, right?
Almost.
No. I speak the opposite of giant. I speak halfling.
Ah. Well, you hear him still kind of laughing, calling out in a language none of you understand. And as you are making your way back down towards the stairs to go down to the lower level, two of the helmed and plumed ogres are making their way up the stairs. They pass by you on the staircase, seem to pay you no mind whatsoever.
Anybody
Cheerio.
know what that last bit was?
It was very loud. But no, I don't use gibberish.
My guess would be that he wants them to keep an eye on us.
So
Or
I suppose
they're going to issue orders to the rest of the ogres to leave us alone.
Well, I would hope, but
we have a choice to make then. We go for Resmir first, or try to take out a number of smaller god before confronting Resmir, the possible alarm.
I think we go straight for Resmir. If we can capture her in her room, we'll have a defendable position.
Very well then. Everyone's gonna head
sounds
towards
like a plan
towards
if I've
the
ever
safe
heard one.
pointed out to.
What's ahead?
So as you guys are exiting and taking the first chance to really look around the area, one thing you notice in this kind of massive mound of ice that is kind of the center of this castle and extends up above the upper courtyard where you are. There are 2 towers and one area right here that's kind of an odd dome shape. It's clearly different somehow from the surrounding ice and what seems to be making up the core of the castle. It's clearer. It's almost like it was fashioned somehow. But you don't see any obvious way of getting into or out of it.
Could we walk around counterclockwise this time to get to the staircase?
Sure.
And going by this to know like what this substance is or what it's doing here, what kind of a check would you like? Like a nature or an arcana?
I mean the big stuff, that big mound of stuff.
Like the bit that's noticeably different from like the ice mounds.
Okay.
Like dragon ice?
Yeah, go ahead and just make me a nature check.
I want to be looking for cultists on this level.
So everyone, as you guys are walking in this direction, first I'm just going to go ahead and clear the entire mask away, so this may take a moment to process.
Oh, didn't take a moment. It's done.
So you're moving around. What you can see is like this ice has that bluish tint that you would only really see in like the far north. You know, places where ice has time to grow and grow and grow. You know, if you'd ever seen it, you would say it was glacial ice.
All right.
This part is almost like ice that's been specially, I don't know, frozen. It looks almost more like glass than ice, and yet you're sure it is ice. The best thing you can compare it to is like the ice that covers a pond, you know, early in the winter. You can still see everything below it.
Is there anything like in that space?
You can tell that this sort of semi-dome structure is clear in that way, but you can't actually see into it. You can just kind of see the top of it.
Okay. All right.
And then you see the crumbling tower up here, and another much smaller tower that seems to be just almost a spire of pale blue ice. It has a few windows, and they seem to shimmer almost like glass or crystal. So, as you guys get up to about here, you see that there's a gap here kind of between whatever this massive structure is and the outer wall. The last couple of you, as you're turning that corner, see those 2 plumed ogres come out of the tower and start moving in that direction.
Do we want to?
So, where you guys want to go?
Do you want to attack right away?
Unless you'd like to do some more exploring.
Did I
Think we
see
should
any
do-
cultists on this level? Walking around.
No, you have not seen a single.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of ogres. You've not seen a single cultist.
My guess is that the cultists are locked to the lower courtyard levels.
Do the stairs
Awesome.
continue going up, even from this level?
No, there's no up from here.
Okay.
There's like a path kind of cut into the side of this mountain, if you will, that leads up to one tower. And as you go around the other side, you see another path that leads up to this tower. Then you see a third tower over here. One thing you do notice as you're looking for, non-giants, is you see a couple of kobolds make their way into this door.
Ah. That must be their quarters, I'd assume, if they're working in the kitchen.
Saber, you might be right about the cultists being confined to the lower areas. I just do not like the way you laughed when you spoke about their numbers.
Yes, because there was only about 14 of them in that one room. There has to be more somewhere.
Well, it shouldn't be anything we can't handle. We've handled a lot more cultists than that. In one sitting.
I think I would like to take a nap before we combat any of the cultists.
It's been a while since we slept.
Okay. What time of day is it?
It's getting towards the evening. It's more like 5 o'clock-ish. Maybe 6.
That sounds like a good plan. We can head back to the room, rest for the evening, and strike right before sunrise.
How do we know that no one else is staying in that room?
Because it's meant for someone of higher authority, and we haven't seen anyone of higher authority here.
The other thing, I know that, I don't know if it was Caden or Numa, when they inspected the room, they could tell it's well kept, but it clearly hasn't been used in weeks at a minimum.
Okay.
We could probably suggest to the ogre guards to find suitable beds and ask them not to disturb us.
There is one set of doors that I hadn't been able to go through and investigate to see if there was anybody else there. I'd like to do that. It's right near Resmir's room, so I don't want to be fighting her and then have a load of cultists come right down the hallway.
Agreed. Numa, how long do you think you might need? An hour? 8?
We're going to go into full combat. A long rest would be, I think, what would better serve our inner peace.
If we're not sure how long we're going to be fighting for, I believe a long rest would be most suited. So we can guarantee we can do a mini fight and then go rest after.
So are the wall construction of the castle ice as well?
Oh yeah, basically everything is ice.
This giant has a bit of an Elsa fetish.
Oh. Yes, I mean, we have that room that we know of. And, we can use that to our advantage. It's right next to her room if we want to, keep our enemies close.
We have a headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us.
Yeah, I definitely think the room that we kind of made our central command would be the best room, since it would be very near Razmir, and we could strike at early day.
Sooner we can begin this assault, perhaps the better. We do not want to be pushing his patience.
And like he said, we don't want to be seen, so if we take too long, then we will be found out and the guards will be up.
Right. So once we
So
start,
sooner rather than later.
we
Yes.
have to continue, see this through to the end.
I mean,
Well-
we are champions after all.
I'm ready.
The best.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go down. I guess we all go down to the room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Goodberry because I can do that.
Okay.
I have hands.
And so I'll get 10 berries, and I'll give 2 to everyone.
Octavia refuses and says, I have ham.
Don't know why you're trying to feed me berries when I have luxury.
Because unlike your ham, these berries will revitalize you if you are wounded.
I'm gonna look at you very confused because ham basically does that.
You don't have magical ham. And I put 2 in her hand and I walk away from her.
And
Visibly
you're,
offended.
yeah, Octavia, you're a little bit offended, but then you think, ham and berry sauce. This could work.
Good berry relish, anyone? Yes.
I've
Make a
heard
jam
of
out of the berries.
Yeah.
Ham and
the
jam.
berry lemonade before.
Ho ho.
A ham and berry smoothie.
A good fizz bang.
Which big thing? Yes, you've heard of it too.
Of course.
Who hasn't heard the good fizz bang?
The good fizz bang. So I'll do that, pass those out. And once we get to the room, I want to go investigate that door that I heard the voices behind. Once everyone's settled.
Okay.
So once it starts, I guess.
So you're
once it starts
going,
getting
like,
a little darker.
Almost immediately, or?
No, once it starts getting darker, I'll go
Okay.
under the cover
So-
of night.
Everyone successfully makes it back to the room. It is getting darker. The kind of mist that seems to collect in the courtyard is getting thicker. And you can see that there are, or you notice that there were a couple of cultists from the barracks room that had kind of gone out for a stroll in the courtyard. And as they notice that it's getting, well, let's say, who has the highest perception amongst the group?
I think that would be myself and Octavia.
Okay, you two can roll me an insight check.
Inside.
19. Hey!
Okay, so
Twinsies.
you
that's
both
3
kind
19s
of
in
come
a
to
row.
the same conclusion. You watch these couple of cultists go kind of strolling about, and then like a particular shadow kind of crosses them, whether it's from like a cloud or just the movement of the castle or whatever. You're not entirely sure. But they both kind of shiver for a second and look around, and then noticeably hurry to get into the barracks.
Oh, jeez. That never bodes well.
Something bad is coming.
Are we
You
not
think
headed to
there's
our
those
room?
miniature dragons?
No, we are.
Yes,
There was some cultists strolling around, and we saw them.
Octavia
Yeah, I think
and
we should hurry to our room.
Octavia and Xavier noticed something as they were making their way to the rooms.
Oh, gotcha.
Can I look at what they were looking at? Look up to the sky.
You don't think it was anything in the sky? Like they didn't look up; they just kind of looked around.
they were like
Oh,
looking at like the time of day type scenario.
it's
Like,
gonna
oh,
get
it's getting
really
late.
cold really quick.
Octavia got basically picked up on it. She's like, something about the fact that it's getting late has them worried.
They don't want to be out past dark because monsters live in the dark. It's probably those miniature dragons.
Random encounters.
Did you say the night is dark and full of terrors?
I would, indeed.
So,
Let us go rest. Now.
you guys make it back to the room. It doesn't look like anyone's come in or out since you left.
And let's make sure no one touches that wall during the nighttime.
And
Distracted.
you guys can make some plans, and we're going to take a short 5-minute break, and I'll be right back.
All right. So my plan is to go investigate that room where I heard some noises.
I will be right back also, sorry.
Yeah, I just really need to get a rest so I can get all my key points since we're going into combat. But the only thing I had...
Key points on a short rest?
I have no idea.
Short rest.
Perhaps.
I need to get everybody topped off. Let me start.
What could be interesting is if the walls are ice, a portion of us could confront Razmir from the door, but I wonder how fast it would take to melt through the wall to surprise Razmir from another direction.
We probably wouldn't be able to do it fast enough without drawing attention.
Yeah, it's the attention part that's going to be an issue.
Well, but isn't the only thing on that floor though so far is the two stone giants and kobolds and the griffin?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any cultists staying on this floor yet.
The lower courtyard? Yeah, that's where the cult
courtyard.
barracks is.
Yeah, they were playing cards with a couple.
Oh, that is okay.
Yeah, you walked right in
there. Yeah, that's not the kobold kitchen.
It's right next to it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
And
Okay,
then
so
Octavia
it's only
saw wyverns across the courtyard. So I think if I can quietly enough check the room that's at the end of our hallway from down from our room, I can see if there's more cultists in there, and if there's not, then we kind of got a good layout of where everyone's at. We can systematically move through it. We just we got to keep them from getting to the wyverns.
Oh, we apparently have several 10 days to do this, so we might want to take it slow, start picking people off, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we got a lot of time.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Xavier just goes around murdering people in their sleep as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly possible. I can do that. I just...
Could we poison them?
Okay. Sorry, I was putting one on and I heard your conversation. I thought it was a great idea.
What, poison?
No, that would work. But like, they're clearly scared of something in the nighttime. We could use that to our advantage to hide our cover, and we could go around killing people at nighttime, and they could think it's this thing that they're scared of, whatever this thing is. We just have to be careful not to get killed by this thing at nighttime.
It might be a thing, or it might just be cold, like we're in the sky at night, flying, so it could.
Well, either way, it could be killing people.
Yes, we will kill people. That will happen.
Yes, and so they could be scared of nighttime, which would be like, dude, did you guys hear he was out late last night and got killed? Like, we really need to learn, like, not to stay out so late, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I
And
just
they'll
don't
be
know
like,
how long
oh, it's not
that
them.
cover will last.
Long enough. I mean, we're only going to get killed like 300 people. But I'll be right back again.
I mean, I'm
That
all
probably is the first thing we should do. Get a head count, identify the key players, and so on.
I agree with that. I just want to see if Resmir comes out of her little cubby ever.
Or if the white dragon leaves ever.
Are the floors ice?
I think so. I think everything is ice.
Then we definitely want to figure out if we can actually melt the walls and/or floors with spell, some other method. Like to get Resmar, we can just melt the floor out from under her. So whatever protection she has on her room just don't matter because she's not in her room anymore.
See,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think that's
We just got to
awful.
make sure that she doesn't fall right into the dragon's horde.
Yeah, well, and that could be an issue, but I don't think it's directly overhead.
Well, but,
Or maybe we drop the ceiling
maybe
on
the
her.
dragon thinks Razmir's stealing the treasure, and the dragon takes care of Razmir for us.
Also a possibility.
I think with all these fireball and hands of fire people, we're like the perfect combination of.
I love the idea of melting some stuff, but I have a feeling that it's not going to fly.
Yeah, it could be magical ice or some nonsense, but
Yeah.
It is a magic floating castle, so
we have to try. For science.
For science. I guess you could practice in our room. Do a couple
That's what I was
cantrips
gonna
just to
suggest.
see how much it takes to melt something.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Wall of Fire, so if I overlay the Wall of Fire on one of the ice walls, that would be my best effort, at least.
All right,
And that's how we all died.
So I'm gonna scout the first night. So we're not gonna try to take her out first thing.
It sounds like
I don't think so.
I'm all for picking them off slowly, like smaller groups, rather than all at once again.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the alarm being raised.
If the alarm's raised, we go for Razmir first thing.
Oh, it depends on how it happens. If
Yeah.
they find somebody who's been murdered, well, okay, so be it. But if they spot us specifically, and this is where the disguises can come in handy, and invisibility spells and so on, like we can stretch this out a while, I think.
Better.
Yeah, we even have rope trick. Like we can literally just disappear for a while.
Heck yes.
So, what have you guys decided you want to do?
Murder people.
Yeah, I think the first night I'm gonna do my scouting thing and see if I can find any more cultist barracks or anything. We're gonna try to get a better head count.
Okay.
And then enact devious plans from there.
Okay.
And if
So-
you need like the spell invisibility, I got that memorized. Or prepared rather.
It wouldn't hurt at least for tonight for scouting, just since we're gonna be resting anyway.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
I can go ahead and cast that on you. That lasts up to an hour.
Oh, that's more than enough time.
Is your blade magical?
Mine?
Yours.
Yeah.
Very well.
My bow isn't.
In
And
that case,
whose fault is that?
Ouch.
I'd like to
Not
grip
let that go.
tightly to his bow and cast magic weapon upon it, making his ordinary bow a +1 to attack and damage,
Ooh.
and magic the next
I
hour,
like it.
so long as I have concentration.
Okay, and you're staying behind?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we need to be on the lower courtyard.
You're on the lower courtyard. Assuming you're all in the room.
Yeah.
All right. So, Airman is about to go exploring one of the rooms. Everybody else is waiting behind.
Xavier is.
I'm taking whatever rest I need to take to recover my 3 key points. I don't really need any hit points. I just need to.
You need an hour of meditation. That's it.
Yeah, and I've cast
okay.
invisibility on Xavier, so he's got whatever benefits that gives him.
Okay, so he's got invisibility. He's got magic weapon.
Yeah.
Right. And if you would like to roll me a stealth check with advantage.
Certainly. $25.
All right, you're able to make your way to this door. You don't even hear yourself moving.
Like a ghost. All right. Is this like a human-sized door, or is this a giant door?
Basically, every door in this place is a giant-sized door.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had like a human sector.
Like a giant-sized rat door.
Giant-sized rat door. Oh god, dire human doors. All right, so I'm gonna listen at the door to see if I hear anybody on the other side.
Okay.
18.
You do. You hear as you sit there and you're trying to pay a little bit of attention to your surroundings just in case anything strange is going on. But you creep up to the door and very quietly you just listen. And you're able to pick out 2 voices. They seem to be having a conversation. And as you're listening, you start to pick up on what they're talking about. You kind of catch right in the middle of the conversation. And that, Asbar, is why I prefer necromancy to evocation. And you hear the second voice reply, well, I certainly agree. Necromancy has its place, and it certainly can be most beneficial at times. But in a pinch, it seems that there's just, like, take for example back, what was it now? It must have been 10, maybe even 15 years ago. As I remember hearing this story, you were making your way up the ranks, and at the time were going, what did possess you to take on the name Zalman? It just makes no sense. However, I remember hearing of your attempts to dispose of someone who had been most inconvenient to you. And it was not necromancy you used, it was evocation. So clearly it has its uses, and when it's time to get up close and personal, evocation is simply better. And this conversation continues back and forth as they're discussing the merits of various schools of magic.
Okay. Not going to open that door.
Come on, you chicken.
Yeah, just me versus two wizards. That's just fantastic. So I will. Let's see. So I explored just about everything. I'm gonna, with the time I have left, I'm gonna head down towards the kitchen.
Yeah, and that probably took you 5 minutes.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna head towards the barracks.
Okay.
And
I'll let your original stealth roll carry over for a while.
okay. So I'm gonna come into here and I'm gonna listen again and see how many people are awake, if any.
So make me another perception check.
Yep. 24.
You can still hear people, what must be, drinking and or playing games. And it's not as rowdy as you would expect for, getting into this time of day with nothing really going on around the barracks. So that doesn't quite sit right with you. Something's off there.
Right.
But you feel there's probably 4 or 5, maybe as many as 8 people awake.
All right.
You also, you can't get an exact count because from the other side, from the next door over, you continue to hear generally odd noises coming from what you know is the kitchen. But you also know it's manned by kobolds.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Do I see any sentries, like cultist sentries?
Nope.
Talking about?
You have noticed it's getting noticeably cooler outside.
Okay.
Can't see out anywhere because the walls are 60 feet tall. But it is getting chillier. And you've noticed there's a very faint line of light kind of along the upper edge of the wall behind you. And basically it's like the opposite wall is casting a very long shadow, and it's almost at the level of the wall across from it.
Okay.
So it's starting to get, it's still daylight outside, but it's getting pretty dark.
Okay. So I have probably about 50 minutes left.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna I'm gonna stealthily go back towards the storeroom.
Okay.
And I'm gonna attempt to pick the storeroom lock.
All right.
Natural 20 on the pick.
Click. You've definitely dealt with harder locks. It is larger than what you're generally used to.
Stick my hand in there and twist it.
You almost can. You could easily fit a couple of fingers in there, but you kind of shift some things about and the lock undoes.
Okay. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna grab what I believe is the ale.
Okay.
Because he said that they wouldn't let him drink. So I'm gonna grab the ale, and walk it back towards the barracks.
So as you're looking around, you don't see any ale.
Oh, there's no ale?
Doesn't look like it.
Bummer. All right. Well, is there any good food in there?
I mean, there's plenty of food. You wouldn't necessarily qualify any of it as like high class. I mean, it's
How about
this is basically like camping fare. You know, it's hearty. There's plenty of it.
okay? Yeah, I'll grab some of the choicer meats.
Okay.
And I guess like a couple loaves of bread or something. And
Actually, doesn't seem to be loaves of bread in here. You see bags or barrels of flour.
figures.
Oh,
Damn kobolds.
No baked
All right.
goods.
I'm gonna steal some meat. I'm gonna relock the door, and then I'm gonna head back to the room.
So you go ahead and slice off some steak-sized pieces of beef, and grab a couple of sausage links, or like sausage chains, I guess you would call them, and head back to the room.
And I just kind of open the door, quickly slip in, close the door real quick, and drop the meat on the table.
Okay. Well, you're still invisible.
Yep.
Floating meat walks in the door, plops itself down on the table. Octavia love just this about place. has.
This place is perfect. I will sit and eat and enjoy.
You might want to cook that first. Caden, you can drop this now.
All right, so Caden will stop concentrating on invisibility.
Okay.
All right, here's what I've found out. The room that is right down the hallway has Asbar in it, our friendly red wizard, as well as someone named Zalman, who I believe is another wizard who practices in necromancy. So, I think that's their quarters. Also, they don't have any ale. I was going to try to get everyone drunk and then try to kill them, but that didn't work. And it seems like, at this moment, maybe 8 to 10 of the cultists are still awake in the barracks. So they might have running shifts in the barracks at night.
Understood.
So we've got 2 wizards, a half-dragon, and a couple dozen cultists. Is what I'm judging for, and the wyvern.
Well, which one do you think will be quietest?
If we have a way of silencing Resmir, and we can get in the room, that would be the way to go. She should be by herself, so a single target faces all of us would be the easiest. The next, maybe the wizards, if we can again trap them in the room. They don't have a lot of movement, we might be able to take them out, and then honestly I think the numbers of the regular cultists would be the hardest, just by sheer volume of them.
But it's doable.
Jaden, would you be able to silence the wizards?
I have dispel magic, but not
Caden?
silence.
I need you to make me. Make me maybe a wisdom check.
I have
Straight
silence if
wisdom.
you need it.
Oh, you have silence.
I have silence, yes.
Nice.
It would be
And I will
I just
use
like to
my
talk.
natural 20 on my wisdom check.
Okay.
Oh, you got a 19 floating around too, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There
when Xavier came back in the room and relayed what he found, your mind is almost obliterated by the name he says. You hear that there is a wizard by the name of Zalman in that other room, and your first instinct is to charge in there with fireball and lightning and destroy every living thing that might be in there.
Ooh.
But
Do we catch any of that on the outside?
that depends. Caden, are you going to try to hide these emotions?
I would say he's taken by surprise, so no.
So you guys can see him, like, rage flares in his eyes.
Face goes flush a little bit.
Yeah. And he
It's okay,
like
it won't take long to cook.
you can see him like take a half step towards the door before he catches himself.
Yeah. Kate,
Okay.
Caden, are you alright?
No.
It cooked.
Although, unless I missed something, I as the player do not recognize the name Solomon. So, like, is it
I'm
supposed
not
to?
alright.
You
don't know
as
why.
the player, or you as your character, remember that what you need most is closure, and
I
that
got
your
that.
mother was murdered right in front of you. The rest of your family destroyed in a fire. And the only clue as to why is a name. Zalman.
All right.
Supposed to say salmon. A typo.
Slappy Swanson? Caden, are you not up for the plan of who we should kill?
He will die, but I need him to talk first.
Who him?
Zalman.
That's fine. I mean, we just gotta cut off his fingers so he can't cast any spells.
Yes, we should start there.
Would you care to share your tale with us?
He knows something about what happened to my family. And he will tell me.
You will be questioned then.
I think I might have caught part of the conversation talking about that. Asbar brought it up to his attention about what type of magic he used. And I, for the life of me, did not write down which magic that was. Shit!
They were discussing that
Invocation.
while he may prefer necromancy, evocation has its uses.
Right.
And Asbah remembered a story about as this person who he referred to as Zalman was rising through the ranks. He had made skilled use of evocation magic to aid his ascent.
And I relay that to Caden. They were having this conversation, and apparently there was a story. He didn't get into specifics, but they said that he used evocation magic, which I'm not too familiar with the arcane, but isn't that with like a firebolt or a lightning strike? Isn't that evocation magic?
Yes, that is a part of the evocation school. They are, in many ways, battle magics used to attack.
Well, if you need that handled first, then I'm all for taking out the wizards first before we take out Resmir. Anything that will keep you focused on what we need to do, I'm willing to help.
Which is why we should probably
Thank
cook
you.
this food sooner rather than later also. So we're all focused.
I just see her over there using like her warding flare and all of her cleric abilities, like cook.
Why don't I have the cook ability? I just don't know.
She's like, I cast fireball in the corner. Cook.
Holy spices.
Holy spices.
Holy spices. I used all my holy water and it's still not edible. Not really, Ben. I still have holy water if I need it.
That's not incense she's been burning in her censer. That's cherry wood.
Ah. Well, we should eat and try to get some rest. I'll take first watch.
By the way, Xavier, can you throw this into the bag of holding for me? He's gonna just gonna hand over his chain shirt or his chainmail he's wearing. We may need to accomplish some of these tasks more stealthily. This will certainly not help with that.
What armor are you wearing?
My own natural armor.
Oh,
All natural. I've got my own tricks.
very well. I'll dump it in the bag of holding. Chain shirt's what, 65 pounds?
Chainmail 55.
55.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is probably the appropriate place to call it for tonight.
Yep. Jeez.
All right.
So we get an insight into Caden's backstory. Like it.
Dun, dun,
Who knew he had
dun.
one?
it mean?
Everyone gets grouchy when they're hungry. It's okay.
I love
Yeah,
how
he's just angry.
I love how we're having serious talk, and she's like, "You just need to eat. Just let's cook this meal."
I've been there, man. It's okay. Help me cook this. You have fire. I have fire. We can make this work.
Oh man, I was really hoping to get a lot more done with that scout.
Oh, you only went like 3 places.
Well, I didn't know where else to go.
The rest of the castle.
Yeah, I could have.
I mean, that would have been a good start.
Yeah, it did surprise me. You came, it seemed like straight back. I was like, oh, already? Okay. This place is a lot smaller than
Normally,
I thought.
you go and you get into a lot of trouble. I'm surprised, honestly.
Did you
I'm
forget
happy
your
there's
phone or
food brought
something?
back.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Like, oh crap, I forgot to get my burglar's kit, and you know how forgetful I am.
It was the first night. First night.
Maybe the last night.
Could be.
Oh. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Guys, I don't think he meant to say that. We got him. Extra secret DM info.
We have fallen into the realm of eternal night.
Something like that, yeah.
Something out there.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know what this creature of the night is that everyone's scared of.
Then Matt might want to go outside to find out.
Yeah, no, I'm busy. I have food to cook. Very important.
Well, that was a good session.
Yes.
I
We
loved the
didn't
RP. It was great.
die.
It's been like 3 sessions since we killed something, guys. I'm proud of us.
That was not the word I would use.
I get the feeling that days without incident will go back to 0 next week.
Without workplace safety. No, we
Yeah,
just need another thunderous smite.
I have to agree with you. I think your workplace safety record is going to take a precipitous downfall very shortly.
Yep.
So, I'm glad I was able to reintroduce Adam to his backstory.
I'd seriously forgotten that, like, completely. Not the name.
My
at least, like,
entire
not the whole
family was
backstory.
murdered.
I remember
Yeah,
that part. It was
That was
Zolman.
stupid.
I thought he was just a murder hobo. Who knew?
I mean, he clearly is the most murder hobo of you all. And I think it would be interesting to see whether he goes for any other plan except go find the wizards, cut his fingers off, and make him talk.
I mean, I'm all up for it.
Caden's a simple man.
Apparently.
Acid might be involved, but
Jeez.
But that has a tendency to cauterize wounds.
yeah. So like, you have to keep them alive, but make it hurt.
Oh, right.
We have a cleric.
Kill-
I can
Keep
feed
them
him a
alive.
good berry every once in a while. Give him mass diarrhea. Yeah, there's punishment.
Okay.
All right.
So, anybody have any highlights they want to share? Any objectives for next week?
I think Octavia's continuing obsession with ham.
I'm,
The meat.
She's
I
on
was going
point.
to say I'm very
Starting
excited
to get
about this meal.
What does it all mean?
I mean, clearly there's something, something about it.
So wait, what
Who
did you
doesn't
say
love
you're most
ham?
excited about?
The meat is appearing on the table. Like, I didn't know friggin' all of a sudden there's a
course.
pile of meat. I'm like, oh my god, this place is heaven. We're never leaving. This is home. First I find ham in a place that said there's
It's
no
just
ham.
a giant freezer full of meat.
Yeah.
Are we sure that platinum dragon fella is
And
some sort
there's
of
cultists
harvest
and
guy?
giants.
You're serving the wrong god.
Well, he accepts sacrifices of bacon. Burnt offerings.
No, I think
That's kind of a steep sacrifice. We should
Yeah.
probably just sacrifice horses.
I think Octavia was the highlight of the session. We're all trying to be all serious. She was like, "Ooh, meat."
That and
Maybe I
okay.
love food.
I turn left and it's the first door I see.
Yes. That was amazing.
He
I
didn't
thought
say
I was
anything
clear
about
on
going
that.
to the wall.
There was some rhythm. I don't remember what it was. Somebody knocks on him.
There was knocking. And then when Numa knocked back, it was like, I wasn't prepared for this part. What do I do now? There's someone knocking. I should knock back. Oh dear. Okay, now what?
Yeah, I don't know what the party's plan is, but it seems like it just kind of altered with Caden's disposition.
Yes, our whole plan changed.
Yeah.
Caden.
I think it's going to be wizards first, and then
And
it
Resmir.
seems like none of the cultists actually go and check on Resmir so far. I mean, we've only been here for a day, but so I don't think we have to worry about them finding out about her being gone at the moment.
Yeah.
So if we have to take care of her,
Do not disturb sign out front of your door.
those little hanging pillows. Still sleepy.
I'm very crafty. I'm sure I can make something work.
No cleaning, thank you.
I mean, I'm all for doing the sneaky approach. It's definitely my bag, but I'm ready to not be in between a dragon, a cult, and giants right now. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to progress.
Yeah.
So Xavier is ready to spring into action. I mean, I'm still willing to go and attack at first light. We'll just take out the wizards instead of Resmir. So
Do it. I'm ready. I'll have a meal. I'll have a nap. I will be ready to go.
Alright, so Octavius is going to solo the wizards while we take on Resmir.
I can do it.
That sounds like a plan.
You got silence, it'll be fine.
I got silence, exactly. And a hammer, and if I have to beat him with my ham bone, I can do that.
So I think we're all itching for combat, right? It seems that way.
Sounds like that.
We all want to see some dead cultists.
More sounds good.
More dead cultists.
Well, I guess next week you'll get your chance.
Yeah, I'm still trying to okay. Even if we take all these cultists out, what the hell are we gonna do about that dragon?
I know.
He wants us to kill that fucking dragon, and I have no idea how to go about doing that.
I know. So
It's like we're going to be creative on that one.
Yeah.
Well, we define the scale on its chest that's missing, and then enchant.
Shoot a giant black iron rod right through its heart.
Yes.
Right. It's gonna be a black arrow.
How'd they
I'm
do
sure
it
you
in
can find some paint.
Dragon Heart? How'd they do that one? You have to lift up the scale and stab it, right?
Yep.
No.
But they can share their.
Perhaps if you find Excalibur.
Oh, that'll be easy.
I think it's only a matter of having Octavia talk to it, and
It'll kill it.
Ascalon will do it in a pinch.
I can talk to things for a long time.
I mean, we could attempt to, coerce the dragon, but I don't know how well that's going to work.
I mean, remember, we left her alone with Hyder for a little bit, and he killed himself, right?
That's right.
Oh
That's what
my
I'm saying.
god.
See?
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
great at this, guys.
Oh my god.
I wonder what a shatter would do if we could just walk in there like we were going to deliver more treasure and knock shatter on his the roof and everything.
I think the biggest thing is we got to figure out how to ground the dragon. Because if we can ground the dragon, then we got, 3 people that can hit it. Well, Numa can climb up on the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, we could
Just punch it
shatter.
in the face.
One round is shatter in the air, and someone throw a fireball right where it's going to land, and they would make pretty quick work of it.
I mean, we could try to just pour on the
I'm sure that would do it. Just bam, bam.
I mean, if we could just
An adult
level
white
up
dragon,
a bunch and someone got the wish spell, that would be really cool.
If we had the wish spell, I wouldn't waste it on a white dragon.
Wish it dead.
We sit on 2 white dragons.
2 white dragons.
Wish all the dragons were dead.
Now, of course, it's you could reason with it and we could tell the truth that the giant's trying to kill it, so we should go try to kill the giant, and then we could have them fight it out.
So your solution is instead of fighting half the fortress, fight all of the fortress.
No. This, the giants don't have to know. If we do it right, the giants wouldn't know that we told the white dragon anything. The white dragon just went rogue.
Okay.
That is a
Let's follow
slippery
this
slope,
through.
but I like your thinking.
Let's say this white dragon does kill all the giants. How in the hell are we going to survive this giant floating castle if the dude that's controlling it is dead?
You mean you've never flown a castle
No,
before?
I've never flown a giant fucking castle.
Get
We'll
off
learn
my
real quick. I bet we can fly it down.
You think the odds are in the dragon's favor between the 2 stone dragons and the frost giant? 2 stone giants and
I mean, we could try to get the giants
then
helping
the
killing the dragon.
swarm. And of course
That's
the
probably not going to
lethal-
fly, actually. He's pretty clear
lethal
about we
swarm
got to
of
do this on our
kobolds.
own.
Ah, damn. But his underlings don't know that.
Hey, that's...
I mean,
Huh?
he
Huh?
said we can't harm the ogres. He never said anything about
he
dragons.
never said anything about a white
ogres.
dragon. Be
Yeah.
like Han Solo in A New Hope. Be like, hey, down there, we need some help.
Make sure we
Well,
don't
you know
call the
what?
kobolds so they can cook for us.
You guys, you got a week to think about that stuff
Oh, God,
and
this
see
is
what you want to do.
We're still gonna die.
The end, guys. At
Well, you
least
know, just
we're
think
going
about what
down
your next
the
character
school
should be.
Well, at least you weren't killed by the giant.
So
Awesome.
I'm planning on a druid. So
That's why you took Goodberry.
well, no, I
Start
took
speccing now.
honestly, I took Goodberry because I wanted it when I first made the character, and you said no, you don't have a good reason for having druid spells. Because I couldn't think of it at the time because I was drinking. So now I
Well,
took
there you
it. Yeah.
Well, druids are great at making beer and so on. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, but he personally was drinking, not his character.
It happens a lot. I'm
It's
proud
a
of myself.
Lucas
I only had
problem.
2 beers tonight.
That's why you came back so early from your spy mission.
If I was drinking, I probably would have got into combat tonight.
Yeah.
I can take all of them on.
I probably would have
Been
walked
like,
into
I'm
those
going to
wizards
sneak
and been
around
like, hey
the
guys.
dragon's lair.
I saw
bet I
those
could
magical
just
items. I
brag.
think it's be really cool.
I bet I can totally steal those things if I'm invisible.
It totally crossed my
Dragon
mind,
will
but then I was
never
like,
know.
yeah, dragons can see invisible creatures generally.
This one probably can.
No, yeah, I can get away with it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll catch y'all later.
Yep, see you.
Adios.
Good night.
good night.
Night.